this computer. Hi. Fine, how are you? Oh, wait, I need to go back. Zoom here. I need to undo the. Okay, I need to do. Yeah, that's okay. So I need to go to this. Go to settings. Click backgrounds, none. Okay, I'll close that. Okay, welcome. I think I'm live. I see some action over here. I've got a live screen right here. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get started because I am a little late. I had a little bit of a glitchy background scenario. So thank you for giving me some time to get here. So really what I want to do is just take a minute to introduce myself. My name is Justine Webb. I am the founder and president and CEO of Mystic Brilliance Academy. And today we're really going to be talking about something that you've probably, seen a lot of gurus talking about, and that is, the three things you wish you knew before you started coaching, right? Because that's oftentimes when people start their business, they're not really sure or aware of what really needs to happen, what they need to do, or what really are their first steps because they're just getting started. So, and this is what I'm going to talk about today is definitely more in depth than what you've heard before. And it is completely going to, I think I got cut off for a second, but I think I'm back. And it's definitely going to allow you to completely change the trajectory of your business. Okay, so these aren't this conversation today is not about the superficial things that people are talking about, and not that they're superficial, but the doing, the masculine energy of creating your business. I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about what three things you really needed to know before you started your business. Okay, so again, welcome to my show. This show is the Architect Your Brilliance show with me, your host, Justine Webb. And I'm so excited for this training. I literally have had downloads for the last week about doing this specific training, but last night everything just came flowing through and everything was just, super clear about what message I'm being called to share. So we're really going to take this time to go into it. And I even have like post chart paper behind me. And so because it's really important for me to show these visuals. I think it's going to make a huge impact in how you see our discussion today. So we're really going to look at this from many angles. It's really not about what you're doing, like I said, the superficial outward things that you're doing. In fact, you've been doing or have been doing all the things in your business, right? And actually that's keeping you from elevating. That's keeping you stuck in a place that is not supportive for you to, to grow your business. So what we're going to be talking about today there's three specific things that I want to talk about. This is the first thing. This is what you wanted to know first, that you wish you knew first, is there's no right or wrong, correct or incorrect way to build your business, scale your business, to which strategy to use, which method to use, which coach to use. There's no right or wrong. Okay, there's no right or wrong. There is only informed. There's only informed. If you are here, jump in and say hello. I'd love to see your beautiful faces and your smiling your emojis. Light this place on fire. Let's have some fun today, because this really is going to be good. So really, again, there's no right or wrong in your business. Okay, there's only informed. And when I say informed, this is really the kicker. When I say informed, I'm not talking about which coach you want to hire or the strategy to use. I'm not talking about the tools or skills. So I don't want you to think that you should go out and start doing research. Absolutely not. That's the furthest thing from what I want you to do. In fact, being informed, this is actually being informed about yourself. Okay. So before you're doing anything really in your business, you need to get clear about some things about yourself. Okay. So what I mean is that before you take action, right, or do anything in your business, you need to understand at the deepest level a few specific things. Okay, a few specific things. And I want you to write this down. If you're watching the replay, write #replay. I want you guys to have this. If you show up live, you get the cheat sheet, you get all the goodies. So obviously jump on in whenever you see this light up on your feed, whenever you see it light up in your group, in our group. Okay, but you need to know these things. Okay, and this leads us to your GPS. Okay, so write it down. You're going to need to know your GPS. And this is being informed at a deeper level. It's not just superficially knowing. I mean, if somebody gave you a goal sheet, you could probably fill that out. If somebody did gave you a SMART goals and gave you steps and all of those things, you could probably figure that out. Okay, this is not what I'm talking about. Like that's at that very intellectual level. And what you really need to be thinking about is at that deep, like, I don't know the word for it, but it's that deep knowing within your body. So that's the emotions, that's the cellular vibration, that's your all of these things hold such a high vibration that thoughts alone are not your best advocate. Okay, I want to say that again. Thoughts alone are not your best advocate. And when we think about manifesting, when we think about bringing things into fruition, and this is, hi, Danuka. When we think about manifesting, and when we think about really bringing something to life, it is not the thought that creates that. The thought can be sent out. It's sent out into the ethers, right? But the way you actually bring that back to you like a boomerang is with your emotions, with that deep-seated feelings that you have, right? And so, and this is like scientifically proven, and Joe Dispenza is the man. If you do not know about Joe Dispenza, I highly recommend you watch his YouTube and you start studying what he's studying, but he's done research and this is scientifically proven. And emotions are a totally different frequency, much higher frequency than thoughts. Okay, so they work together. You need to have both. But when I'm talking about your GPS, we're getting really close with that deep level of understanding yourself. Okay, so it's not, just writing your goals. This is really much deeper than that. And so what you need to know is your GPS. And Danuka, we just started, so welcome. The first thing you wish you knew in your business that coaches are not talking about is really that there's no right or wrong. There's no right or wrong in building and scaling your business. There's no right or wrong way that you want to do it. And there's no right or wrong, like choosing the coach and the skill. Those are all things that we're not even really talking about, the strategy and the coach, right? We're talking about being informed about yourself. Okay, so everything aside, doesn't matter which coach you decide to hire, which skill you're going to need, which strategy they use, none of that matters. What matters is being informed about yourself. Okay, and that's through your GPS. Okay, your GPS is obviously three things. The G stands for your genius. That's your innate wisdom. That's your gifts. That includes your values. Okay, this is a huge piece of who you are. And that really stands firm in grounding you, right? So those you have to have. Those are the only things that are going to keep you grounded when you start to elevate, right? Because if you keep elevating and you're not grounded, you're just going to fly away like the balloons and they disappear. No, you have to stay grounded. That's your G. It's really important that you have those dialed in, and that you hold true to them, right? And obviously they can change, but once they change and you become fluid, you have to start getting grounded again in those. Otherwise, you're just gonna not have that strong, firm anchor to the energy that you're trying to create. Okay, so the next thing, P, is your passion. Okay, your passions, your desires. This is really like your bliss factor, and that really encompasses your emotions. Your emotions is what's driving that passion there. Okay, so that's the G and the P, and the S is your soul's purpose. Okay, and really this is attaching you to your highest vision. Okay, and we're going to talk a lot about highest vision, but that's really a key. The highest vision is really key factor in helping people get unstuck. Okay, and if people can't even connect with the higher vision or their highest vision, then they need to go back and work on some belief systems. And I'm gonna show you a model in a minute. I'm actually draw it on my board. Let me know, Danuka, if you can still see me and hear me, and definitely jump in here and let me know that, right in there, GPS, you need your GPS, and you need to be informed about yourself. Like, put those things in there, because the more you participate, the more you actively write things down, the more you interact, scientifically proven that you will retain the information. Okay, that's why I have my kids doing a lot of different kinds of interactions and writings and drawings. It's really important for them to retain, for them to be able to understand the information and also retain it. Okay, so make sure that you are jumping in here. So I'm actually going to do kind of a hilarious model. I didn't realize it was going to be so far away, but I'm still going to do it. And I'm tending to be a little, like you can see I'm flushed, I'm a little warm in class. But so I'm going to draw me, and I'm going to show you kind of anchor points where your GPS is. Okay, so you've got, I'm just going to do my lovely stick figure here. This is me. I've got a smile. Okay, so here I am, right? I've got, and I'm just going to pick like random colors. Like, actually, they turned out pretty good. Okay, so here's my G. This is where my genius lies. This is where my innate wisdom comes in. This is when, that I'm anchored in my values. Okay, so here's your G. This is like your anchor, and it's really holding you down and keeping you grounded. Okay, you've got your G, and then your P. Obviously, we know where our emotions come from, right? They come from our heart. And we've got this big, beautiful green energy, and it's exploding, and there's your P. Okay, and then of course we have our S, and our S is up here sitting like right at your crown chakra, right? So it's like this beautiful beaming light, and it gives you drive, it gives you purpose. So it's a part of like, it's your direction system, right? Like, it's, I don't know if you can see my screen, it's not that close. Let me see if I can bring it in a little closer. If not, I'll take pictures and then I'll post them. All right. So you've got your GPS, and that's really what you look like. So you're walking around, and here you are. And then you are now kind of like, okay, now what? You've got all these things, you're feeling good, and you're like, now what? Well, here's what happens next. Okay. I'm going to draw this, and I'm not sure you can see it because it is kind of a light color. We've got this like, nope, that's too light. We've got this ice cream cone. I want to use this color. Yay. Okay. We've got this ice cream cone here. And I don't know if you've recently seen, but I've recently been diagnosed with diabetes. He said I had it a while ago, but we didn't do anything about it. So anyways, so one of my visions is that I really, I want to get to a place where I can have like my mint chip ice cream. Okay. Because I love that. And I get it. That's like, this is kind of like a silly version of a higher vision, but it is one of my visions. Like I want to be able to eat and treat myself when I want that. Okay. So this right here is really my highest vision. That's my ice cream cone. Okay, that's my highest vision. So when these things are lined up, you've got this beautiful synergistic energy that just has a linear pathway from Earth to your highest vision, back down, and up here, of course, is your, I should probably use black. I think you guys will see that a little bit better. No, I'll use blue because I can't find the black. Is your North Star. Okay, so your North Star is right here. So in order for you to take aligned action to get to your highest vision, you have to have these three things. You need to know those. And are they going to change and fluctuate? Yes, right? And you're going to revisit those as they do, and then adjust as you go forward. So again, we talked about the G keeping you grounded, pulling that beautiful energy from the earth and giving you security. That's a huge piece of your G. The P is expressed through your emotions and your heart, right? And the S is that your crown chakra, and it's tapping into that highest vision energy. Okay, that's really what's going to help you get fulfilled. As long as you're aligned with your values and aligned with everything else, you have the potential to become fulfilled, right? And once you fill one bucket, you're going to want to fill another bucket, and so on. So it keeps expanding. It keeps getting bigger as you expand, right? As you grow. So the one thing that we need to think about is that everyone is born with a purpose. So if your clients are coming to you and they aren't really able to tap into anything above where they are right now because they're in trauma, or they're experiencing overwhelm, or they can't sort through things, that's a sign that they need some belief work. Okay, they need some belief work. That means that if they don't stand firm here, you need to come back here and support them in their belief work here. Okay, if they can't attach and recognize emotions as being a driver, and how to navigate those emotions and better shift when they're struggling emotionally, then they need some belief work here, and so on, right? So then you would then get to the soul's purpose, right? And if they have struggle to connect to that, then they need some belief work there. Okay, do you see how that's working? Okay, I'm going to take this off. I know that I don't see many people. I hope that you guys, it's still live streaming. It says live, so I'm going to go with it. Okay. Okay. So that is absolutely the key foundation to what it is that you need to be firmly rooted in before you start to build anything. Like imagine trying to do a website when you don't even know what you're standing for. You don't know what your wisdom is. You don't know what you're bringing to the table. Like your website, and don't get me wrong, I've done this. I don't know how many websites I've done. I've worked on, I mean, I think almost every platform, and I finally found one that I love, but I've worked on all the platforms. I've created dozens of websites. I've changed my branding. Like I just have been all over the place because I was still in this, evolving in this space. Okay, I knew my genius, but I didn't really tie it all together until, you know, and how my genius was connected to my ideal client until recently. Okay, so that's a thing that can happen. All right, so don't get me wrong. I mean, that is one of the things that people do, right? They go work on all the things, but before they have their vision. Okay, this is all about their vision. Okay, you need to know that we are really looking at creating a beautiful vision here. And like I said, those first clients that you have that come in, maybe they only have a vision where it's like the tip of the cone. Like maybe that's all that they can see, but that is enough for them to see the light, for them to see the freedom, for them to see relief. Okay, so getting them to that tip to see that there is possibility, and that there is potential is a huge milestone. So you want to get your clients to that milestone as quickly as possible, right? So if you spend a lot of time in the trauma, it's going to be really hard for them to come out of that energetically. It's very, very heavy energy, right? So you really want to get them into that highest vision, viewing it, participating, feeling in it, taking steps, like whatever you can do to get them to see and open up their perspective is what you want to do. That's a quick win. You need to get your clients right away. Okay. Okay. So that is number one. All right. That's number one. That's really what you need to know before you do anything else. And if you've already got that dialed in, great. Then you are ahead of the game. Okay. Then you're ready for step two. Okay. Step two is to decide. Step two is to decide. Danuka, are you still there? I don't know if it's going, I haven't seen anything cut out, but step two is to decide. I want you to imagine that you are standing in the middle of a beautiful silk sheet, and you know, as you take a step forward, you sink and the sheet bunches up around in a million different little places by your feet. Okay, I want you to imagine that. This is really how time works. Okay, and even more than that, I mean, like the bunches would be all over your body, right? Like, because there's no linear path. It's just this amazing realm. Anyways, so this is really how time works. It's not linear, right? And it folds and it collapses, and with each touch of the silk sheet, you have a decision. You have to make a decision. I mean, you don't have to, but whatever thought you have is going to lead you in one way or another, right? So it is a decision. I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But I want you to think about every experience you've ever had in the past, that you're experiencing right now, and in the future. All of those experiences have brought you to this moment. Okay, and it's done the same for your clients. Okay, and with each decision you make, or with each decision they've made, a new trajectory is opened up. Okay, it's like taking a next step, and the bunches and they connect, and it's just like this huge, beautiful, energetic field. But a new trajectory is opened up. So all this potential is available and accessible to people if they could see beyond the here and the now, beyond and don't get me wrong, it is totally crucial for people to be present in the present moment and soak up all that juiciness. But it's not okay to be stuck in the present, right? You have to be able to see beyond, okay? You have to be able to see possibility, and that's really opening up your mind. And the way you do that is by making decisions, okay? And of course, you can decide to be complacent. Like, you can decide that, but what will happen is you'll be moving away from your vision, your purpose, and those experiences are going to hit you harder. Okay, they're going to be more intense. They're going to be more dramatic. And that's because the universe is talking to you. It's trying to wake you up. It's trying to say, hey, look, you're going in the wrong direction. Okay, so what I'm saying is, when you decide, make sure you're paying attention, because there are signs everywhere. Okay, it's really important. It's really important for you to do that. And again, it doesn't matter whatever experience you've had so far, or in the past, in the present, that applies to the future, because your experiences have already been divinely created. They've already been divinely created for you to have the possibility to reach your fullest potential, to have get your soul's purpose, to live out your soul's purpose. Okay, so every experience, whether past or future, is divinely created for you to actually live your soul's purpose. Okay, so what I want you to think about is, what decision will you make, right? Whatever decision you make, new experiences will open up, but they're going to teach you the same lessons, right? They're trying to get you to pay attention to what lessons your soul is being called to teach, what lessons your soul is trying to learn. Okay, so those are a part of your decision. Okay, so again, regardless of the path you choose, you're really going to experience the duality of it wherever you are. If you are on the negative side, there is the positive, the absolute opposite, the polar opposite, because that's a law of the universe. Okay, so knowing that you can move in any direction, and knowing how it affects your experiences, what decision are you going to make, right? So if you're making that decision to move in this expansive direction, you really, that's when potential gets opened up. You unlock that key for potential. Okay, and this was the first key to unlocking potential, was really being able to get these three in alignment and be solid and secure and strong, which is then allows you to like tap into a higher vision. Okay, so really, I want you to think about, everything has been divinely created for you, for your clients, for me, for everyone. Okay, so even the tough stuff, obviously the tough stuff, because we have to learn and grow, and then we have a job to teach others. So with the tough stuff, here's an example. I was I wanted to teach a little bit more about Joe Dispenza and the power of emotions. But just imagine, like, you're driving a car and you're stuck in traffic, you're late to work, somebody cuts you off, somebody almost runs you off the road, somebody gives you the bird. Like, you're in this like total chaotic energy, right? And here's what happens. Your brain, and you have, I don't know, Danuka probably knows how many thoughts you have a second, but it's hundreds, I think. So you have hundreds of thoughts a second, and you're firing off these things. You're saying bad words. You're saying how awful today is. Never gonna drive this road again. This road is horrible. Like, out. Like, you're having all these negative thoughts. And if your boomerang's working, you're gonna have negative emotions, right? And that boomerang, what is it gonna bring back to you? More negative emotion, because that's what you're putting out there, right? Whereas if you're driving the car and that happens and you're able to stop, take some deep breaths, be present with yourself and shift and say, hey, I'm really glad I didn't get run off the road. I'm doing pretty good right here in this spot. You know, start to shift that perspective a little bit. Then you're sending those thoughts out faster. And then you're going to have that calm, peaceful experience where you're in control and you have, you feel secure and safe, and all of those things are going to come back to you. Right. So it's the ability to be present with it. Oh, here's my marker. Anyways, so we've got, and I went back to that because even thoughts can be a decision. Takes practice, right? But all of those things are a part of the work that you do and a part of the work that you do with your client. Okay. And the third thing that you wish you knew was community. And that's kind of a newer thing where community and collaboration is really stepping up into play. But I just want to give you an example. Imagine that you are a puppeteer. Okay. And this is literally the download. The download came to me and I was a puppeteer and I was building my puppets. And these are the options, right? Like, I'm a puppeteer. I decide one day I want to make a puppet. You're a puppeteer. You decide you want to make a puppet. You have none of the tools. So you go out and you buy one of the items. Okay. So you buy one of the items. You get home and realize that item doesn't work without this item. So you go back and you get the other item, or maybe you're building the items. I don't know. Right. And then you keep doing that until finally you have some semblance of a puppet, but it's all on this one long string, right? Because you've placed it together out of order. You've just attached what you could and made it the easiest thing. Well, you have this long, like, one appendage puppet and it's drooping on the floor and it doesn't really do anything. It just, and the kids are crying and complaining. I mean, you've got all this, like, droopy energy, this like really heavy, grungy energy with that. And that's you doing it all by yourself, trying to put the pieces together. That's like you hire a coach, and then, I mean, you've been putting all the pieces together. This is what I did, was I went and did this and this and this, and this is what your clients have been doing. Your clients have been piecemealing all of their own resources, and which is why they need you, because they're puppets out of order, like, and it's droopy and it's like not what they wanted. Like, it just isn't what they wanted. Okay. So imagine now everyone from the community showing up, come to your house, they brought their individual piece, and then your puppet is put together in a few hours. The kids are laughing and cheering, and everyone is like, celebrating, and the puppet's jiggling and dancing, and there's all this like really light, fun energy, right? And because everyone played a part, everyone played a piece, right? They all helped you out putting it together. But I want you to notice, and write this down, I want you to notice that the puppeteer, before he could do that, before he could invite the community over, there's a few things he had to know. And this is really, really important. This is important for you, and it's important for your client. Okay. The puppeteer had to know what puppet he was creating. So what it is you're going to create for your clients. Okay. And the roadmap to put it together. Because if they brought individual pieces and there was no roadmap, they'd still fumble and put it out of order, right? So they've got to know which puppet and what pieces, right? What they're creating, and they have to know a roadmap. to piece it together, to assemble it. Okay. And so when you're working with your clients, you need to do the same. You need to know what it is you want to create, what it is you're creating for them, what transformation, what outcome. And then you need to have a roadmap. Okay. Those are important things before you start building and scaling your business. Okay. And that often looks like a signature program, right? Because this is all your uniqueness that you're putting together, your design on the puppet, right? This is your design, and you're creating this magnificent piece of art for everyone to enjoy, to everyone to get pleasure from, right? And so that's how you have to think about your business. You have to think about having those pieces in place, okay? And really, you can tell the difference between the energy of the two, right? You can feel that droopy, dull energy from the first one, and this beautiful, light-hearted, fun, playful, toe tapping puppet on the other side, right? With this beautiful energy going around. So you really have a couple, those things to look at. And so I'm just going to do kind of a quick recap, because I know that I have gone kind of quick. I've gone over things kind of in depth to some degree, and I did give you lots of examples. So I hope that you had fun with my drawings and everything else. But let's get back. Let's just kind of do our quick review. Okay. So the number one reason, the number one thing you wish you knew was that there's no right or wrong. There's no correct or incorrect. And that's in strategy, coach, method, any of those things, or tools, or any of that. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being informed about you. Okay. And that's your GPS. You got to focus on that and get really clear on that. That's number one, right? That's number one. Number two, again, and that is like I said, that's your GPS. Really get focused and get clear on those. And then a part of that is really being able to tap into the highest vision. And I know I didn't really do a huge lesson on that. And I think one of the next ones I'm going to do is really understanding and breaking down, looking at your client and understanding how to get them there, so you can shift that energy really quick for them. Okay. So working on their belief systems. You have to work on belief systems starting at the foundation and moving forward, moving up the ladder. And then, then they're going to start to be able to tap into that vision, right? Especially when you get to that, like that security. Once you start helping them feel secure and grounded, they start to see that there's a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. So you're doing that work throughout your program, throughout your process with them to help them get relief. But the sooner they can tap into that vision, the sooner they're going to have, the faster their results will be. And keeping them, like, one of the things is when you're working with your clients, it's not just the skills and the strategies, right? And when we talk about beliefs, it's not those things. It's belief in themselves. Belief, are they worthy? Belief, can they do it? Belief in, and that's going to show up all the time. Can they do it? When they start to, level up, and when you level up, you're going to start to say, hey, can I do this? You're going to start to fall into that imposter syndrome, right? Like, can I really do this? Is this something that I can do? And then you have to quickly work on your belief there. No, stand in your power. Know that you are, you can, you have, you will achieve this. Okay. And so you'll have to do your work on that. But recognizing it in your clients is super, super huge. Okay. Because the second they disconnect from their vision, that's the second that you're going to lose them. You're going to lose your client. And that's a piece of helping them take inspired action. And so really making sure that they have access to that, that you're revisiting that you have trainings on that, and that's in your back office, and they're always revisiting their vision, so they can always, like, so they don't forget, so they don't lose emotional connection, because life happens. We know that life happens, right? We know that things show up, and you know, for them to take the next inspired step, what do you have to do? You have to reconnect them to that vision. You have to reconnect them to what they really want, what their purpose is. And so that's ongoing work that you should be incorporating into your trainings, into your back office, into your lives, into your however you want to work it. But those are things you're doing all the time. Okay. And especially along the ladder as they start to elevate and start to grow. And that's the same for you. As soon as you start to elevate and grow, you want to keep coming back and getting grounded. What do I really stand for? That's your G. What do I really want? That's your heart, your emotions. What is my mission now? What is my purpose? And it's going to go beyond each and every time, right? So you want to keep doing that and doing that until you just get to your, most people who have a soul's purpose, that expands with you. So you're just going to keep going and doing what you love. And that's the goal, is really to do what you love and be completely fulfilled. Because there's nothing worse than not loving what you do and being stuck. Those are the worst two feelings. There's nothing you can do about it. You don't know how to get out of it. And so that's why you are there to support your clients, right? That's why they need you. That's why they're there. That's why they have that divine, those divine experiences unfold, so they can be here in this moment with you. So I think I've covered it all. I know that I had potentially a few other things that I wanted to cover, but really, oh, no, I still was, so the next one is, of course, decide. I got through one, I got distracted again. Whoop. So 1, informed. 2, decide, right? And 3 is community. 3 is community. And within the community, in order for you to access and work with a community, you have to have those couple things dialed in, right? You have to know what it is you want to create and the roadmap to create it, put it together. And once you have all those pieces in place, then you're really ready to do the other work. Okay. So I hope this was helpful. I'm going to jump off. I'm not, I'm excited that I was here for a few minutes, but that I was here with you today, and I will see you. Oh, I'm sorry. I knew what I was doing. I'm cracking myself up today. Okay, guys, it starts on Monday. This is your From Blank Page to Signature Program, Craft Your Signature Program Challenge. It's starting on February 6th, and it's going all the way through the 10th. And then we'll even have bonus days that are going to take us through the 14th. And by the way, February 13th is my birthday. And you know where there's going to be a lot of love on the 14th. So you want to be there the whole time. There's going to be so many amazing things coming that have stepped forward that I get to open up to you. And so I really want to, like, urge you to register and show up live. Showing up live is the most powerful thing you can do for yourself. And engage, because those are really going to be the way you learn and take away and create things. So register. I have put the link in the group. I'll put it underneath this live training as well. And we will be back again on Monday. And I believe it starts at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So that would be 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So you want to make sure you're registered, so you could get the workbook, so you could get the extra resources, the extra goodies. I want you to have access to it all. And let's get your signature programs created. Your people are really waiting for you. And there's the timing that is so critical, because the more you wait, the more you stay below this, tapping into your vision, the more energy it takes to get to the other side. Does that make sense? So let's get you registered. Let's get you your signature program created, and we will see you next week. Bye, guys.